Hey, Carl here. Welcome to lesson 15 in my course on guitar chords and how to use them. Located here at guitaru.com, the best free guitar school anywhere. This is lesson 4 in my series of videos dealing with the CAGED system of neck organization and guitar mastery. In the previous videos, I started in the key of C, and I taught you how to play a C chord in 5 different positions all the way up and down the neck. Then I started to work my way around something called the circle of fifths, and we did this in order. The key of C, the key of G, the key of D, the key of A, and all the way up to B and F sharp. And there's lots of great printed material to help you out with that study in the distance learning application associated with this lesson. So hopefully you're studying the web pages, because it's very difficult to gain any benefit from these videos without studying my web pages. Here in this lesson, I'm going to begin studying what musicians call the flat keys, scales with flatted notes in their key signatures. In this study, I'm going to concentrate on 2 such keys, the keys of F and the keys of B flat. But we will look at these keys from a slightly different perspective as we have in our previous videos. Of course, we will begin with the procedure and protocols I have established so far in this course. 1. Review the scale, key signatures, formula, and spelling of a major chord for the key of F. 2. Find all the F root notes and major chord tones on the neck of a guitar. 3. Translate those notes into the 5 basic shapes of the CAGED system. 4. Play those 5 chords ascending and descending in time, smoothly, cleanly, and clearly on your guitar until the key of F seems like second nature to you. Here, let's review the key of C. As I have said before, it is very important to relate any new bit of knowledge to something you are already comfortable with. Hopefully, at this point in the course, you should be comfortable with the key of C. So if you are going to practice the 5-position CAGED system in the key of C, refer to one of your diagrams, find all the C, E, and G notes on the neck of a guitar, and of course the C root notes, as I have indicated by those nice little red buttons, and begin to play the 5 shapes of C. It should look something like this. C type, A type, G type. Once again, I don't do that. I just stop strumming before I reach the thin string. E type, D type, and I don't do that. I just play a C5 and my full circle 1 octave chord, C type. In reverse, C type, D type, E type, G type, A type, and finally full circle 1 octave to C. Okay, having gotten clear on the key of C one more time, let's take a look at the key of F, the first of the flat keys. And let's review the key signature, the scale, the formula of the chord, and the spelling of the chord. The key of F has 1 flat, of course. An F major chord is spelled F-A-C, or the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of the major scale. Okay, let's begin studying the key of F by looking at the super pattern, locating the root notes, getting a good visual of the 5 basic shapes associated with F, and see if we can play them up and down the neck, cleanly and smoothly. E type, D type, C type, A type, G type, and finally E type. Full circle 1 octave. In reverse, E type, G type, A type, C type, D type, and finally back home to position 1. Those are the 5 shapes in the key of F, and that's what your practicing should look like. At this point, we will transition to the key of B flat. It is necessary to review the theory regarding the key of B flat, the key with 2 flats. The spelling of a B flat chord is B flat, D, and F, the first, third, and fifth notes of the B flat major scale. The formula, of course, is 1, 3, and 5. Next, of course, we should play those 5 B flat chords. So once again, check out the B flat major super pattern, showing you every note in the B flat triad, red buttons indicating the B flat root notes, and get a good visual of the 5 shapes of a B flat major chord. Once again, your practicing should look like this: A type, G type, E type, D type, C type, A type, full circle 1 octave, in reverse, A type, C type, D type, E type, G type, A type. That's what your practicing in B flat should look like. For a fresh perspective and different thought process, I'd like to return to the key of F. And let's take a look at the F root note located on fret 13 of string 6. If you think about it, that's where F lives. That's where the center of activity is, the hub of your thinking. So I have an F note here, and I can play notes higher, as I'm doing here with an E shape. I have an F root note, I can play notes lower, as I'm doing here with a G shape. So look at all the coverage I have from here to here, just by thinking of this F root note as the hub of activity, as the center of my thoughts. Got stuff lower than it, I've got stuff higher than it. The same thing applies to the root 5 F. String 5, fret 8. I can play and think on frets higher. I can play and think on frets lower. So my A type would be above that root note. My C type would be below that root note. And once again, I'm gaining quite a bit of coverage. Okay, just by thinking of that as the hub or the center of my activities. Now I'll go all the way back down here to my other F root note. Basically, we do think of the key of F living on fret 1 and fret 8. So I'll go back to my other F root note, and I'll find my next F root note, which would be on string 4. And I always like to think of that root 4 F as being related to this F. If you've ever played chess, think of it the way the knight moves in chess: over 2 and up 2. Over 2 and up 2. And that leads me to my D shape of chord. So that's a nice relationship. You can always remember F, F, and you have your D type. So by just remembering where the 2 centers of activity are, where the 2 hubs of activity are, you can find every one of the 5 shapes. Here's a center, F, and I've got my D type related to that. Here's a center, F, I've got those 2 chords related to that. Here's a center of activity F, a chord here, a chord here. I have found this as a very helpful thought process and a great way to get a fresh perspective on the 5-position CAGED system. Let's really cement this in our minds by exploring that same thought process in the key of C, the ever-popular key of the people. So, where are my hubs of activity? Where are my centers of thought in the key of C? First one obviously is right here, fret 3 of string 5. So I've got a bunch of stuff that goes on behind that root note. I've got a bunch of stuff that goes on in front of that root note. Behind it, in front of it. My next center of activity, my next hub of thinking in the key of C is right here on fret 8, string 6. So I've got a lot of stuff that goes on behind it. I've got a lot of stuff that goes on in front of it. And just by thinking of those 2 root notes, root 5, behind and front, root 6, behind and front. I've already covered the whole neck. Now what I want to do is, remember the way the knight moves in chess, boom, 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 over 2 and up 2. Over 2 and up 2. That gives me my root 4 chord, my root 4 root note on fret 10 of string 4, and my root 4 C chord. And of course, the very next shape in the 5-position CAGED system is a root 5. So that's a good perspective on using the CAGED system. Just remember the 2 root notes that you think of as being most important in any key. And in C, we have fret 3, string 5, so that's where C lives. That's one place where C lives. Go this way, go that way. The other place where C lives, the other center of activity, the other hub of thinking, fret 8, string 6. So you go here, and you think this way and that way. It's a great perspective, and it will actually simplify your thinking in many instances. This is Carl. Thanks for checking out my stuff here at guitar.com. I deeply appreciate your time and attention, and it is my sincere wish that these lessons bring you closer to your goals of becoming an excellent guitarist. I'll see you next time.